Imagine sitting cross-legged on a freezing wooden floor at 3 in the morning. The winter wind is screaming through the paper walls of the monastery. If you move even a single inch to warm your aching muscles, a senior monk will strike you across the back with a wooden stick. You are exhausted, starving, and your brain is begging you to just stand up and walk away. But you do not move. How is this level of superhuman discipline even possible? We live in an era where we can't even focus on a task for 5 minutes without picking up a piece of glass to scroll through endless distractions. You make promises to yourself every single night. You say tomorrow is the day you finally start working out, building that business, or studying for that exam. But when you wake up, that motivation completely vanishes and you repeat the exact same lazy cycle. It makes you feel sick, doesn't it? You feel like you lack some magical willpower gene that successful people have. But what if I told you that everything you know about discipline is a complete lie? What if the most disciplined monks in history actually possessed zero willpower? There is a hidden secret to endless motivation, and I am going to reveal the exact 3 steps to unlock it today. I need you to listen to me very closely, because I am not going to give you cheap motivation or tell you to just work harder. Let's cut right through the illusion. Before I give you the first step, I have to ask you a question that might make you uncomfortable. Why is it that you can play a video game or watch a movie for 6 hours straight without blinking, but reading 10 pages of a book feels like physical torture? Keep that paradox in mind, because it is the key to everything. The first secret of monk discipline is the architecture of emptiness. Most people think discipline is about fighting temptation. They think a disciplined person sees a distraction, uses extreme mental energy to say no, and forces themselves to work. Science proves this is completely backwards. In 2011, a massive psychological study was conducted to find out what highly disciplined people actually do differently. The researchers were shocked by the results. They found that the people with the highest self-control barely use their willpower at all. Think about a Zen monastery. There is nothing soft to sleep on, there is no excessive food, and there is no noise. The monks do not sit there fighting the urge to be lazy, because they have physically removed the option to be lazy. If you have to rely on your willpower to ignore your phone while you work, you have already lost the battle. Your brain is biologically wired to seek the highest dopamine reward with the lowest physical effort. To fix this, you must engineer your workspace so that doing the hard thing is the easiest option available. If you want to read more, the book goes on your pillow and the distractions go in a different room. You do not need more motivation. You need a more ruthless environment. But right now I need to stop and hit you with a reality check. Because even if your room is completely empty, your mind will still find a way to panic when faced with a huge task. How do the ancient masters overcome the sheer terror of an impossible goal? This brings us to the pattern interrupt, the massive secret of Mount Hiei. There is a group of Buddhist monks in Japan, known as the marathon monks. They partake in a ritual called Kaihogyo. This ritual requires them to run an ultra-marathon of up to 50 miles a day for 1,000 days. It takes 7 years to complete. It is widely considered the most brutal physical and mental challenge in human history. If you asked one of these monks how they motivate themselves to run 50 miles in a freezing storm, their answer would shock you. They don't think about the 50 miles at all. This is the second secret, the law of the single step. When you look at a massive project, your brain calculates the total amount of energy required to finish it. Your amygdala triggers a stress response, convincing you that it is a threat to your survival. So, you procrastinate to escape the pain. The marathon monks survive by shrinking their focus down to a ridiculously small size. They do not commit to running a marathon. They only commit to taking one single step. Once that step is taken, they commit to the next. In physics, there is a concept called activation energy. It takes an immense amount of energy to start moving a heavy object, but once it is rolling, momentum takes over. If you need to study, do not commit to studying for 3 hours. Commit to opening the book and reading one single sentence. That is it. You trick your brain into bypassing the fear of effort. Before you know it, you will have been working for an hour, because stopping actually requires more energy than continuing. But watch what happens next, because there is an unanswered question hanging in the air. What happens when momentum fails? What happens when you get sick, tired, or face a true crisis? This is where 99% of people quit. And this is where the monks reveal their most terrifying and effective secret. The third secret of discipline is the death cord. Let's go back to those marathon monks on Mount Hiei. When a monk begins the 1,000-day challenge, they make a vow to the universe. They are given a special rope called a shido and a short dagger. If they fail to complete the daily run for any reason, sickness, injury, or pure exhaustion, they must use the rope or the dagger to end their own life. They literally engineer a scenario where quitting means death. Now, obviously, I am not telling you to do something extreme or dangerous, but you have to understand the psychology behind this. When you rely on motivation, you are hoping that your desire to succeed is stronger than your desire to be comfortable. It almost never is. But when you manufacture true, painful stakes, discipline becomes a matter of survival. If you tell yourself you will work out tomorrow, but there is no penalty if you fail, you will hit the snooze button. But what if you gave a friend $500 and told them to burn the money if you didn't show up at the gym? I guarantee you would be out of bed before the sun comes up. You must build a metaphorical death cord for your own goals. Burn the boats. Make the cost of failure devastatingly high. When your brain realizes that going backwards is more painful than going forwards, the friction disappears. Suddenly, you aren't fighting to be disciplined. You are fighting to survive. We have covered the architecture of emptiness, the law of the single step, and the death cord. But none of this means anything if you just watch this video and do nothing. You consume content all day long, nodding your head, and then you stay exactly the same. That ends today. I am going to force you to establish your first micro-commitment right now. If you close this video without taking action, your brain will file this information away as useless entertainment, and you will forget it by tomorrow. I want you to go down into the comments section right now. Write down exactly what your death cord is going to be for your biggest goal. State your goal, and state the severe consequence you are putting in place if you fail. By making it public, you are creating real psychological stakes.